Hi, team!
Hi, guys!
Welcome to episode 5 of the Everyone Active podcast.
Can you believe it's 5 already?
I know. With me, Jo Hancock.
And I'm Michelle Laurie.
Thank you so much for listening, viewing, being part of this journey with us. So today, lovely ones, we are going to be talking about your core.
All things core and more.
Core and more. We're going to be talking about what your core's made up from, where it's located in your body.
How to train it.
Definitely. What the benefits of having a strong core are.
Yeah. What some of the common misconceptions and myths are about training your core.
Definitely. And some of our favourite workouts.
Yes.
In order to...
Now, firstly, what have you been up to? Have you had a good week? Sorry I missed you last week with dementia. By the way, it was amazing.
Oh, thanks. I have just got back from España.
Hola!
Hola! Yeah, went there on Thursday evening with a gym friend. Hi, Jess. Her birthday's next week, my birthday, and your birthday. It was a couple of weeks ago, so we did a little birthday treat for ourselves.
Nice.
Went to Malaga. Was gorgeous. Nice little bit of sunshine, loads of walking, fresh food.
Was it busy?
Not busy, like nice busy. And those of you that tuned in, you would have seen it. Did EA from Malaga. The live Saturday class.
Gone international.
I know.
I love it.
Filmed from Malaga.
Nice.
Yeah, but really good. What about you? How's your week been?
Busy. Been doing some training for Everyone Active and just busy teaching really. I'm looking forward. This week is a big week in my house because it is one of my dog's birthdays.
Oh, how old's he going to be?
7, Baxter. So we're hoping by 7 he's going to be a bit more sensible.
Well,
But he's a Labrador, so, you know.
is it Baxter the one? I think I've seen it on some of your profiles where there's like a cushion.
Yep.
That's now no longer a cushion.
Yeah.
Is it back? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Baxter,
always
not Brandy.
Baxter.
Oh. 7 years later and it's still Baxter.
Always Baxter, yeah. So we're preparing for that in my house. But no, apart from that, usual old week really for me.
Oh, what have you been teaching? Have you been teaching?
I have been teaching my usual things. I've been teaching my Pilates and my yoga classes. I've been teaching body balance, body attack, Everyone Active Rejuvenate, which is a new format that we've got, and my core class, which we're going to talk about today. Just usual things really. Good. Have you been doing lots of teaching?
Yeah. It's still that, like, I feel like, though, I've blinked and February has disappeared.
I know.
But yes, I also had, I don't know if they're going to be watching, but who knows, let's hope, all the southeastern regions.
I saw it on your socials.
They all came to my EA cycle class. It was great fun. But you can imagine how competitive it got when you've got fitness managers, directors of fitness, all in one cycle studio.
Wow.
I might have put a few more competitions in than normal.
Did you?
Yes.
Good girly.
Yay! But and then teaching online. EA Core.
There's a theme.
And just a lovely week.
I'm finding as well, I don't know about you, but classes are still really busy.
Yes.
Which is fabulous. So these people that we saw in the new year are sticking with it.
Yeah. Nice work. Well done, team.
Well done.
Keep looking after yourself.
Back.
Keep looking after yourself. Right. Which brings us to... Dun, 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 dun. What is the core?
Goodness me. So I think there's lots and lots of misconceptions around this, aren't there? I think if you ask lots of people what their core is and how to train it, they'll just say, it's my abs and I just do crunches.
Yes.
And I do sit-ups.
Yes.
And that's all they do.
And, oh my gosh, I don't have a core.
I don't have a six-pack.
Going, of course. So your core team is your whole multi-layers from your diaphragm at the top, right the way down to your pelvic floor, which is at the bottom. And then we've got multi-layers of muscles, layers, sides, back, front, tum, that make up our core. And just to put everyone's minds at rest,
yes,
if they're being able to stand up and if they can walk, they got a core. They got a core.
That's good.
Phew. So your core isn't just your abs.
Yeah.
So that's your rectus abdominis.
Lovely word.
It's your official name for your muscle group. And that's the stereotypical six-pack.
Where you find your six-pack, yeah.
We might talk about this actually in one of the myths, but just because somebody's got a six-pack does not mean that they've got a strong core.
That is true. Maybe we'll come back to that later.
Yes, definitely. Let's come back to that later.
Okay, so let's talk then about the benefits of having a strong core.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I am going to
Go.
to the far extreme
Okay.
of a multifunctional athlete.
Right, okay, so what are we talking about here?
Runners,
Yep.
pro cyclists,
Okay,
big
like power lifters kind of thing. Okay, yeah.
multifunctional moves. So where we're moving a lot of our body at the same time.
Yep.
So the benefit to even your extreme athletes
Yeah.
are, if you have got a strong core, then there is going to be a slower fatigue on your outer muscles. And when we're talking like ultra athletes, it is a tiny percentage, but to
Yeah.
those tiny percentages, half a second could be the difference between a gold and a silver.
Absolutely.
So it's your core is used to help strengthen, but also to ease the fatigue on your bigger muscles
Yep.
that are working. So for instance, if we are running,
Yep.
if we know our core is kicking in, the whole of our core, remember it's not just here, then our core is going to be doing the work
Yep.
rather than just pounding our shoulders or our quads. It's going to take some of that movement. So
Excellent.
That's the far end of the scale.
Excellent.
To the mid of our scale,
Go.
I'm going to put us in there.
Okay.
We are.
We are.
We move, we like to move, we do a lot. We're also, if you're watching this on camera, you can see what a great posture our lovely Michelle has got. And
I'm
she
here
just
all
does
week.
it naturally. So for us, it's our stability, our posture, also our strength, but also, again, our movement patterns. And a huge one for us, prevention of injury.
Yes, that's a massive one, isn't it?
Yes. And then if we go right the way down, so people coming into
Exercise. Yes, sort of think about your first time exercises. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, if you want to go on your fitness journey, or even if you just want to be a little bit more mobile, then your core, you're standing up from your seat and you're sitting back down again. Again, we could go to the ultra athletes.
Yeah.
You're working multi functions of your
Everything
body.
comes from the core, doesn't
Definitely.
it?
But I think the big one there is the prevention of injury.
Yeah.
And your mobility.
And I think also just having good functional movement for everyday life as well. You know, just being able to get up and walk the dog or whatever it is you're doing.
Yep. Definitely.
So let's move on then to some of the myths that people think then when they're talking about the core. And we mentioned this earlier, didn't we, about people think that if they just do lots of crunches, that's going to automatically give them a strong core. Oh, I did 100 sit. I hear it all the time. I did 100 sit-ups today. That's going to give me a really strong core.
Yeah. So your core, as we've said, multi-layered, but it's muscles that move in all directions.
All directions,
So
yeah.
it's allowing us to go this way, that way, this way, that way, that way, that way.
Yeah, so we can
all
go
the way
forward.
over.
Exactly. So it's forward, backward, side to side. It's all of that whole direction, isn't it?
Yes. If you've sat there and done crunches
Yeah.
all day long, you've actually only worked one part of a big system
Yeah.
of core muscles.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think people, certainly some of the people that I speak to, would think that that would be totally enough. And when I'm teaching my core classes, and I'm sure you have the same, people will say, "Oh, why are we doing that in a core class?" Some people don't have the conception of exactly what it is they should be doing in a core class.
Yep.
Or
So,
to work their core.
Do you know what? That's another myth. Core exercises, you have to be lying on a mat.
Oh.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. No,
You don't have to be lying on a mat. I love dropping into my core classes. Like we've talked about injury prevention, we've talked about multi-limb movement, we've talked about stability. So we need to be stable when we're standing up. So just merely lifting your leg up and balancing,
Yeah.
you are working
Working
your
your
core.
core, yeah.
Or you're side lunging out to the side and you're coming back to your centre. Your whole balance is working your core.
Exactly. And I think if you think about some of the classes that people go to and they're working their core and they probably don't even realise they're doing so.
Yes.
They'll think that they're doing something completely different. But actually that exercise, as you say, might be in a body balance class. They're coming into a lifted knee, opening out. They're challenging their core and they don't realise they're doing it.
Completely. And I think it's just more important that you do think of your core as that whole intertwined layers upon layers
That wraps
core.
around, you know, it's not like you say, it's not just front facing, it's totally wraps around you.
Absolutely. What's another myth around core?
I think people think that they can just eat their way into getting a core. A lot of people say, well, abs are made in the kitchen. Have you heard that saying a lot as well?
Yes.
Obviously, we've talked about nutrition a few weeks ago, and that does have some element to it. But I think people also think that they're just going to be getting great abs if they're just eating correctly and not actually doing any kind of strength work for their core as well.
We need to build our core. I think I guess another myth is that you have to pick up something or you have to really strain yourself in order to train your core.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting because if you think of some of our mind body classes that we run at Everyone Active site, so your Pilates, your yoga classes, your body balance classes, they very much focus on breath and how we breathe. And the difference how we breathe in those classes, it really does work our core in a totally different way. So in a Pilates class, we would talk about breathing in and breathing really deep and wide and getting really up high through the diaphragm. And obviously that is nice and high. So it's right underneath where your bra strap or where your heart rate monitor would be. So again, that's a different kind of core work that people might not even click that they are using their core in those types of classes.
Yes. And if you think, let's get everybody to do it. Standing tall, okay, breathing in, but make yourself as big as possible.
Yes.
When you breathe in, because you're taking into your body, so you're expanding. So your belly button's going out, you can feel your ribs expanding.
That's right. Almost feels like your rib cage is opening and widening as you breathe in.
And then do we puff out through our nose? Do we puff out through our mouth? What are we doing?
Just nice big breathe out through your nose.
Big puff out. And can you feel yourself shrinking?
It's almost like you
back
kind of
in again?
expand. So what I kind of say to people, that it feels like you're opening and widening your rib cage, and then as you exhale, you're almost as if you're closing and drawing your belly button in.
Oh, that's great. And think about that mind-muscle connection right then, because it's not like you've just physically moved.
Yeah.
You've expanded. It's your muscles that are pushing out with your air from your lungs.
Yeah.
And then you're coming back in again. So huge myth that we don't need to physically pick up something and be under strain.
Yeah.
Breathing is so important.
So important. And I think finding some sort of exercise that you enjoy, that because maybe for you lifting something is important, you enjoy doing that, and that's fine. But if you don't enjoy that kind of exercise, then try something else. Try doing some swimming or some walking, or go and do a class, or try something that you're maybe not thinking, oh, I'm going to go and work my core specifically, but you might just find a class that you enjoy, that you're going to incorporate that in.
Definitely. We can actually talk about that a little bit. Your favourite classes in order to aid you train your core, or your favourite things to do. Pilates?
I mean, I do love Pilates. I think it's got quite trendy actually at the moment, Pilates. Lots of celebrities do it, don't they? And I was watching at the weekend, Jennifer Aniston was saying that without Pilates, she would just be not the person she is. And I love Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. But I think Pilates is one of those things that is actually, if you are taught correctly in a Pilates class, it's such a fabulous way to work your core.
Yeah.
And just gives you just a different whole mind-body connection, and makes you think about your breathing and how you're breathing.
It's foundation setting as well.
It really is.
And and in EA core, definitely. And I don't teach yoga, but I'm sure this must happen in yoga as well.
Absolutely.
It's because we've got those layers of muscles.
Yeah.
You are never going to feel the training sensation of our deep inner core muscles. That's where, we might talk about these later, might even get a demo of them. Like your dead bugs, your superheroes.
Yeah.
So important for your whole stability.
Yeah.
And your strength of those inner layers.
Absolutely.
But you're never going to actually feel them, which is why it's nice to have like a Pilates class, a yoga class, a body balance class, where you've got more time to think about, actually, this is what's going on in my body right now.
Yeah.
Rather than...
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a lot more time to focus on that area, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we should talk about it as well. Picking up weights. When you are picking up your weights, you are engaging your core. But like I said, with the extreme athletes, if you want to be able to increase your weights through your legs, your weights through your back, your weight through your upper body, if you're concentrating and also working on building that core at the same time, then that's going to give you that tiny bit of edge to maybe slightly up your weights, but importantly, help you prevent injuries.
Here's a question for you. When you've got someone that you're doing a PT session with, perhaps someone that is new to you, and do they often ask you, how do I work my core? How do I work my abs? Is that a common question that you get asked as a PT?
Yes. Do you know what? Yes.
Is it?
I'd
Is
say
that kind of the area that people want to improve most, do you find? Or
no. I'd say people now are more understanding of the importance of the core.
Okay.
And definitely within the last few years, the understanding of multifunctional patterns. So the way our body moves.
Yeah.
We don't just walk in a straight line.
Yeah.
We bend, we move, we lift, we go really dynamic.
Yeah.
Just by moving as a human. So I think people are more aware of that.
okay.
But, and I'm sure a lot of trainers do this, I will always send my clients home, as long as I've done a little demo with them, with a dead bug, with a superhero, and with I do a bridge and an overhead, just to get them by themselves focusing on it. But I will do little tips with them or send them a video of me doing it, because it's so easy to do those exercises, but it's also so easy to do them
Incorrectly, yeah.
So which brings us nicely on to,
Da-da-da-da.
what are your favourite core exercises?
Okay, so being a Pilates instructor, I love a superhero.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, so I want you to imagine you're on all fours, knees are underneath your hips, you've got your hands pressing down on the floor with shoulders over your wrists. You're going to extend, right arm in front of you in line with your shoulder, at the same time take your left leg behind you. Important, don't try and do right arm, right leg because you fall
Donk.
over. So you're going to think about lengthening here. So you're going to be nice and long, not lifting the legs any higher than the hip and the shoulders.
I've got my opposite arm, opposite leg.
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to extend it, you're going to draw it in. So think about really pulling in through your core. Yeah, so you're going,
Aha, I do love these.
do you?
Biggest mistake people make?
Yes, go on.
That hip turns.
Exactly. So my cue I tell people when I'm teaching this is, imagine they've got headlights on the hips.
Yes.
And the light is beaming down towards the floor, because they naturally twist open. And if they can't do arm and leg, just do one, just do arm or leg.
Nice.
What's one of your favourites?
Dead bug.
I love a dead bug.
Love a dead bug.
Okay, so
Everyone's
talk me
like,
through how I
what
get into
is a dead bug?
Talk me into position.
It's actually an exercise that kind of describes the position that you are in.
Okay.
How would you visualise a dead bug?
I on my back with my little legs dangling in
There we go.
Okay.
We're going to be on our back,
Okay.
but we're not going to have dangling arms. We're going to
Okay.
have strong limbs.
Okay.
Our arms straight out in front of us, pointing up to the ceiling.
Okay.
Or the sky, depending on where we are lying at
Okay.
that time. We're going to bend our legs.
Yeah.
So then our knees are above our hips and the rest of our legs pointing outwards. You,
Nice.
like opposite arm, opposite leg, bit like a superhero. So your right arm is going to go backwards
Love
whilst your
it.
left
Yep.
leg is going down to the floor. And then slow and control, concentrating on your core, you're going to pull those limbs back into centre.
Nice.
And then you're going to go again. Opposite arm, opposite leg. If you are doing this for the first time,
yeah, what would you recommend?
you're going to go heel down to floor. So you're going to keep
So
a
rather than
bend in your
extending
leg.
the leg out, because extending the leg lengthens the lever, makes it harder.
Absolutely.
So you have a bent leg.
bent leg rather than a
Perfect.
straight leg. And if you're finding that too challenging, then we're just going to do your arms. You're going to keep those legs elevated and you're just going to take the arms one after each other over your head.
Nice.
So they're really actually deep core exercises, and they're really important for stability and definitely injury prevention.
Definitely injury prevention, and I think also really good just for everyday functionality as well.
Yeah.
Really, really good for that.
Completely. What else?
I do love a plank.
Oh, do you know what? Plank is one of those people love, it's
Marmite, isn't it?
But with a plank, let's talk. Do you know what? Talk me through how I start a plank. If I've never done a plank before in my life,
Okay. So I'm going to get you to come onto all fours. Mm-hmm. You can either come down onto your elbows, onto your forearms, with your shoulders over your elbows.
Yep.
Extend legs straight behind you, or you can have knees bent. You're going to think about pushing away through the heels if your legs are extended. So I want you to make sure that, again, you're not lifting your bottom in the air. So you're
no
nice
bent
and-
bananas.
No bent bananas either. No. So it either goes to extremes, I find. People either lift their bottom up or they go like a little bend throughout the body.
Yeah. So I'm elbows on shoulders,
Yeah.
feet back. If that's too much and I'm feeling like I can't do
Pop
that,
your knees down towards the floor.
and do I sink back on my knees?
Still stay in that same position so you're still nice and strong.
Yeah. Oh, I've just thought about another thing that I often see. Caved back. Oh. We want to go push.
Yeah, so
the
almost
floor,
like you're pushing off the
away.
floor, isn't it?
And then channel your inner plank of wood. So by default, your quads are fired, That's your thighs are fired. Glutes, bottom muscles are all strong.
Yeah.
And remember to breathe.
Yes.
You see a lot of people going,
Yes. And they suddenly go,
oh, I'm there, I'm there, I'm
yeah.
there.
What other favourite ones have you got?
I quite like, it's a bit of a, do you know what, I'm going to throw another one in there.
Go on.
I'm going to talk about a multifunctional move.
Oh, okay.
Spoke about it earlier, about
Yep.
balance. So, feet hip width apart.
I'm standing up here.
Take a big step out to your right-hand side.
Okay.
You've paused, so you're leaning away from your left leg.
Yep.
You're going to use your core and your arms to come back and balance on that leg. So it looks a bit like you're going on a run.
So I'm going to lift that knee up, am I?
You're going to lift that
wow.
knee up.
That can be
Step
quite
aside
challenging, can't it, as well?
and lift
so what
up.
if I find that too much? What would you say to do then?
Don't do the side lunge.
Okay.
Just stand with your feet underneath your hips.
Yep.
Lift a knee as if you were going to run.
Yep.
Balance on that leg. Back down again.
Lovely.
If you're really struggling with that balance, find something to hold, not grab, because you want to be working your core.
Yeah.
Just there to help yourself feel a little bit more stable. Yeah, so that's I do like that one.
Do you?
Yeah. Go on then. Next one.
Oh my goodness. What else do I like to do? I quite like a bridge.
Yes.
So working that posterior chain, so working the back of the body here. So lying on your back, feet flat, knees bent.
Yep.
Going to relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Going to push your feet really strongly into the floor. And you're going to slowly lift your bottom off the floor and imagine that you've got like a wheel on your spine and you're going to wheel your spine away from the floor so you're lifting upwards, keeping nice and strong through your hips.
Yeah.
Relax your shoulders, arms can be down by your side to begin with. Really, really lovely, strong bridge work and then softly release back down again.
Love it. I'm going to take that.
Okay.
And I'm going to go one further.
Go.
Links into one of my faves as well. So our lats.
Yes.
Big, huge back muscles that actually work with our core. So
Yes.
it's muscles that connect into our core. So from your bridge position, so your hips are now in the air.
Yep.
I want you to take your hands from the floor, take them all the way over your head.
Love it.
Past your ears. So now we're opened up, we're still up in that bridge position.
Amazing.
And then you're going to engage your lats and your core to pull those arms back all the way down.
Love it.
Yeah, love it. Oh,
Nice.
we should help people out here.
Okay.
Classic instructor, and I've just done it. Engage your core.
Yeah.
That sentence alone confuses some people.
It does.
How would you coach through
Oh, goodness me.
engage your core?
Okay, so what are your key points that you say when you're teaching people?
Remember to breathe.
I think people hold their breath a lot, don't they?
Yeah, so I'm always remember to breathe. And then I have two, depending on where I think people's mindsets are.
Okay.
Here we go. Imagine somebody and you know they're hiding around the corner from you and they're about to jump out and make you go boo.
Okay.
And you've got that oh when you tense feeling.
Yes.
Okay, that tense feeling. Now think about it just being your core, not your entire body.
Okay.
So there, but now release it a little bit. A little bit.
Okay.
So we can actually breathe, but whilst it's there. So you feel like someone's going to really shock you. Now release it a little
Nice.
bit.
I like that.
And we're there.
I'm going to use that. I like it.
We're going to be scaring people. We're like, boom, in the classes as they come through the door.
I like the sound of it.
What about you? What cues do you give?
I concentrate on breath a lot. I must admit, I do really concentrate on breath because I feel if you're breathing correctly, that's going to help you a whole lot more when you're doing any kind of core exercise. And as I say, people just tend to do this and you can suddenly look around and see people slowly going a nice shade of blue.
Yes. This little pointer to make here. Do you know that that's one of the key indicators that we can use to see if people have got a weak core?
Yes.
Is if they hold their breath. Because by holding your breath, you're then calling on your other
muscles.
stabilizers, be it your legs, your shoulders, your arms, to help that core out.
Yeah.
So holding your breath is actually a sign that we see going,
We see you.
We gotcha.
We see you. Let's talk about exercises that people think are going to be working their core. That we see people. We talked about sit-ups a moment ago.
Yep.
What other things do you hear from people when they say they're going to work their core, and you think, oh my goodness, what are you doing?
Oh, this is a very good question. Yeah, we spoke about it earlier. Sit-ups, crunches, the hammering of I'm just going to work.
Yeah.
Or try to work my abdominals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, their chins are on their chest, their hands are pulling through their neck. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're just going to end up with a really sore neck.
Yeah, and then people say, when I'm doing sit-ups, all I hear feel is it in my neck. And you hear that so many times, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. So I'd say sit-ups are that. There's so many more exercises, people.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you one we haven't
them.
talked about, which I love as well. Coming from a plank position,
Mm-hmm.
is things like mountain climbers.
Yes. Dynamic in our movements.
Yeah. So again, if you think we're in a plank position, but this time instead of being on your elbows, you're going to be up on your hands. So you're on all fours, pressing into the floor. And you're going to, instead of having the legs just straight behind you, you can draw the knees in towards.
So it's like you're running but on your hands.
Yeah.
Oh. But you're not running with your heels flicking your bottom.
No.
You're trying to bring
you're
your
drawing
knee
your knee forward. Yeah.
Definitely knee forward. And one that I like doing, talk about dynamic movement, opposite arm to opposite leg.
Yes.
So we're working across.
Get into those lovely
body.
obliques.
They run down the side.
The side of you.
They're your obliques. And we should also remember pelvic floor. It's
my
the
goodness.
bottom of our core cylinder is our pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Please don't forget your pelvic floor exercises.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to talk about that actually in our next podcast, aren't we? When we're talking about postnatal things, which will be interesting.
Yes.
So let's think then, if you don't perhaps want to go to a group exercise class, or you don't want to go into the gym, maybe swimming might be something that people could do. A really great core workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, swimming is a multifunctional limb movement. So we are moving everything at the same time. And I guess a lot of people would never associate that you are training your core whilst you're doing that. And a huge thing that we've touched on before as well, swimming, breathing is so important in your swimming.
Yes.
So you are actually working your core. But it's a point with any exercise, I guess, that we do, and definitely in swimming, because we're in the water and because we're just thinking about our arms and our legs moving. Tune in, like make that mind muscle connection between what your core is doing and feeling. Get that little bit of tension happening.
And especially I think if you're in the water, because you've got that buoyancy, just thinking about classes in the water, one of our Everyone Active Aqua classes.
Yay!
An amazing, especially if you're quite new to exercise as well, maybe you feel a little bit nervous about people looking at you in a studio or something, then maybe an aqua class might be a great place to start, because again, really great core workout.
Absolutely. And if you are new and coming back into exercise, aqua is such an important class to be able to get into your routine, because there's no impact through your joints.
Nothing.
I mean,
at
we've
all.
spoken about our superheroes. We're still on wrists and shoulders. In aqua, we've got the water to take that impact off joints. Also, remember, people don't want to come into the gym. We've got Everyone Active Core on Facebook, so I'm teaching that live at the moment.
Yes, you are, yeah.
And we've also got them, if you scroll down and use your app, there's a lot of EA core classes.
On demand. There's lots on there, aren't there?
Yeah.
So that means that people can even, if they don't want to come out to a site to work out, then they can also just do it from the comfort of their own home. Or even take those workouts and take it into the gym and just, they can work out with you in the gym. Imagine the joy.
And they are, and it's great because it's a 30-minute class. So we do a little warm-up, little stretch. So really we're talking about 20, 25 minutes of dedicated core work. And we are all the layers. I will try and touch on all the layers during that core. And we tend to do, I either do times or I'll do sets and reps as well.
Right, okay.
Exactly like any other form of muscle training. We can say do 5 to 10, have a little recovery, do the same exercise, 5 to 10 again.
Yeah.
We can train our core like you would think
train
of
anything else.
any other muscle. But yeah, a 30-minute class. And as you said, you can take me anywhere and follow the EA core class.
Imagine the dream of that. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Hiya. Oh, we've done it.
Again, another week over.
Ticked, gone. Ah, thank you for joining in though, team. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, it's been a really, really, really interesting again.
Yeah, and please make sure you contact us if you've got further questions about core or any of our episodes
or anything
so
you'd
far.
like us to cover. If we haven't covered a question that you've got, let us know and we'll answer it in a further episode. And don't forget to give us a like, a comment, a lovely comment on social media. And I think we can now get emails as well, can't we?
Do you know the email address?
I do. It's podcast@everyoneactive.com.
What was that?
Podcast@everyoneactive.com.
Yay! So honestly, team, send in those questions, leave us feedback. Nice feedback, please. Thanks very much. And we look forward to chatting to you next week, where we are.
Postnatal next week.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. Go on, those superhero women.
Come on, the mummies.
So, team, thank you very much for listening.
Have a great week.
Jo, and this is Michelle, and we will see you soon. Take care.